Hi, there's actually nothing wrong in treating yourself. That's not what this video is all about at all. However, I think we're all aware, particularly these days, of how consumerism has become quite out of hand and how disposal of waste as well as storage of everything is a huge problem, and how there is so much litter everywhere, and how polluted and in danger our planet is. It is possibly even past the tipping point. So mindlessly handing over hard-earned money to corporations is a bad idea. But corporations don't care. They are just about maximizing profit. Who Short-term goals is all that they care about. Who cares if the planet is, past the tipping point, or who cares if disposal of waste is a huge problem? Who cares if a number of countries are practically buried in discarded products? Who cares if people are struggling to make both ends meet? It is all about sell, 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 parting you with your money. So, giving your hard-earned money to such corporations is not something that you should do without thinking twice, or 4 times maybe. So that is what this video is about. I watched a documentary, or a Netflix program called Buy More, and I think everybody should watch this. It is a bit, some of the sort of elements, such as the video editing elements, part of it was a bit psychedelic. But overall it was a very, very eye-opening and sort of mind, something that makes you pause and think. It's not anything new, but it gives you that much needed impetus to reflect a bit more on a topic that is extremely important to us all. So I highly recommend Buy More on Netflix. There was another one called The Corporation on YouTube, and I think these two watching these two is a good start. If you are aiming to buy less in 2025, watching Buy More on Netflix and The Corporation on YouTube is a good start. It makes you reflect, makes you pause, it makes you think twice before you add everything to cart and run over to check out. It makes you wonder whether you actually need something really. We're not talking about, something as small as the lipstick effect, wherein, you buy the odd lipstick once in a while to treat yourself amid, some very hard days, some very hard times. When, things are really wonky or catawampus, you want to treat yourself to a little lipstick. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, masses of products that we don't really, eyeshadow palettes for one thing, and huge advent calendars, curations, the latest launches, lots and lots of skincare from all these influencers or celebrities who are launching their own line. That's what I'm talking about. So as a sort of first step to buy less or buy more mindfully in 2025, please watch Buy More on Netflix and The Corporation on YouTube. The old lipstick is perfectly fine. It is masses and masses of boxes that is not fine. We've all seen those clips on Instagram or photographs on the media of masses of clothing lying washed up on beaches in, Ghana and so on, and masses of plastic lying on beaches, and huge, mountains and mountains of landfill, and little children picking, their way through the landfill in India, and rivers of waste, and people wading through the rivers of waste, of plastic waste in Indonesia and the Philippines and so on. I don't know about you, but I have seen those clips on social media. How true they are, I'm not here to debate their veracity. I'm just here to say that we all need to shop more mindfully in 2025. I think one of the problems with the current system is that in addition to corporates maximizing profit, we also have individuals as influencers saying, I'm obsessed with this, you need this in your life, on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media, and people have this fear of missing out and they're going to buy. I feel that influencers, whoever is, having any kind of platform, I feel these people have a responsibility to say, yeah, buy if you want, but if you don't need it, if you don't really, it's not a have to have it, don't waste your money and don't, pollute the planet. Instead, everybody's saying buy, buy, buy. I'm going to be very mindful and tell you not to buy a bit more than I already do. So one of my tips to shop more mindfully in 2025 is to shop our stashes. I think we all have fairly large. I mean, I was looking at my stash recently and I sort of reorganized my lipsticks. I didn't declutter anything. I just reorganized them, and I found that there were so many old favorites I'd kind of relegated to the back of the shelf, and now they're all in front. And I am actually wearing something from my stash right now. A very, I like the shade. Not quite usually my usual dusty rose, but I like it. So similarly, you might discover something that you bought, back in the dark ages and forgot all about. So shop your stash, people. At the same time, be mindful of use by or expiry dates, because you don't want to use up a serum that went bad or is quite rancid now, 5 or 6 years later. You don't want to, end up with bad skin infections and skin problems. If things aren't expired, yes, by all means. Another tip is to find other hobbies as well. Maybe reading. Reading's a good one. I love escaping into a good story, into the pages of a nice work of fiction. I'm currently into a lot of psychological thrillers. It's a phase, There was a time when I was just reading school stories, another time when I was reading just, Holocaust-related work. That was a bit, my mother was a bit worried that I was becoming a bit morbid at the time, because it was all really getting to me. Another time I was just reading health-related books. Another time I was just reading all my mum's old annuals, from the 1970s and so on. June and School Friend and whatnot. Bunty and Ginty and Debbie and Mandy. Another time I was reading biographies of sports people whom I admired. There was Rafa by Rafael Nadal and so on, which I bought for my Gramps. So Gramps was a huge fan of, that's to say, was and not is. Yeah, still can't believe he's gone. But yeah, Gramps was a huge fan of Rafael Nadal and always said, he's a grandson I've never had. I was more of a Federer fan at the time, but Gramps liked Nadal better. There were days when he'd watch Nadal and sort of lie awake in the night. Why did Nadal lose and so on? So yeah, there was a time when I was just reading biographies of sports persons. Right now, I'm into psychological thrillers, people. Lots and lots of works by Alice Feeney, Riley Sager, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Ruth Ware, oh my God, Ruth Ware, Claire Douglas, Claire McIntosh. So lots of Lisa Joel, love her works. So lots of psychological thrillers right now. I love this feeling of, oh my God, what's going to happen next that you get while reading those books. So another hobby, or more hobbies, cooking, reading, knitting, crochet, will, sort of take your mind off shopping for beauty. And I find that psychological thrillers in particular are insanely good at distracting you from pretty much everything. All you think of is what you're reading. So find more hobbies, more interests. That's a good one. Just, bird watching. If you can, that is. Where are the birds? The sparrows are all but gone. Reducing screen time is another good one. Mindless scrolling. In the process of mindless scrolling, you end up coming across a lot of influencers saying, buy, 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 buy. You need this, you need this. Or, corporations advertising, telling you to buy, 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 buy. They're just trying to part you from your money, people. So that, reducing screen time is going to be a good help. Again, reading of other hobbies will help reduce screen time as well. I would also say, invest in other things, not, blow up your money on beauty. Maybe invest in other things. Watch your investment grow. Maybe, as I told you while I was spoofing the Chanel, the infamous Chanel Advent calendar, buy a sovereign maybe, or, a half sovereign, and watch the price grow every, say, 6 months or so. Or, a silver coin or two. A nice silver crown from the 1800s, the 19th century people. A nice silver crown. You can watch the price go up every few months or so. That's, investing in other things. This is also where I want to talk about, investing in timeless pieces versus fast fashion. Similarly, fast makeup versus, more timeless, the Lisa Eldridge Rouge Experience versus Revolution Beauty's plastic case lipsticks, which you just, use, throw when the next one turns up Lisa Eldridge, it's refillable and the packaging is so timeless and so retro. So I would say invest in timeless pieces, whether it is fashion or makeup or shoes or whatever, rather than, fast fashion, fast beauty, fast makeup. Please don't do that. I know it's a lot cheaper, but ultimately the price is a lot more because, the environmental price is a lot more. We are paying for the environmental price. How is that affecting me, you ask? Climate change is going to affect us all, people. We're all going to suffer from it. We're all possibly even already suffering from it. People are living in flooded areas, heat waves, wildfires, and so on. So it is better to avoid fast fashion and fast makeup because ultimately they are going to prove more expensive. Another tip, focus on lifestyle, diet, and sleep. When you focus on, eating healthier and you're watching your skin clear up, focusing on good sleep, and you're waking refreshed, that is greater skincare than any product can give you. What you put in your mouth, the exercise that you do, the sort of blood rush and the increased heart rate and the sweaty glow that you get, the endorphin release that you get, and the very restful full sleep and waking up all rested, refreshed and relaxed, that's the best skincare. I'm not saying don't buy skincare, don't use skincare. Please use skincare. I am using skincare. But I'm also going to focus this year from February because, January's, it's been mental. My father's cousin passed away on 2 days after New Year's Day. So the year hasn't begun well. I sincerely hope this is the only bereavement we go through in the entire year. And then there were other things as well, other complications that I don't want to go into. So I'm going to start focusing on sleep from February. So 8 hours of sleep, February onwards. That, is something that I'm going to add to my skincare. Another tip is to reward yourself if you have, stuck to your goals or stuck to your low buy or, for reducing consumption in general. In other ways, be creative here. You reward yourself by, allowing yourself an hour's lying in the mornings or, one morning, or by treating yourself to a spa day, or, by treating yourself to a massage, or by treating yourself to a very fancy manicure, or, a hair spa, hot oil treatment in the salon. If you, reduce consumption and stick to your goals. Be creative here. Treat yourself. Reward yourself for reducing consumption. That will sort of encourage you to reduce consumption even further. Another one is to write down all expenditures so that you get an idea somewhere along the line of exactly how much is being spent on beauty, exactly how much is being spent on fashion, on fast fashion. When you write down expenditures, it's not shopping XYZ amount. No, it's going to have to be Revolution Beauty X, Zara Y, H&M Z amount, and so on. You be detailed, be specific. That way you know where your money is going and exactly how much is going where. Also, add something to your cart for 1 month. Keep it there for 1 month without checking out. Add it to your cart. Then, if you really, really want it, even a month later, buy. If you don't need it, if you feel, even a month later, the sort of shine has gone. If you feel, a month later, I don't, maybe something nice has come up, then don't buy. So wait a month after adding to cart before checking out. Of course, it might sell out in the meantime, in which case don't come for me, it just wasn't meant to be. Another tip, this is my favorite way of reducing consumption, is to project plan. When you empty something, then you're using up something actively rather than letting it lie there and fester. You are getting your money's worth. And this also helps you keep track of consumption. I have 8 serums in my stash. So I'm not going to buy anything until and unless I'm going to plan at least 5 of them, or at least 6 of them. That is a good way. So project plan, people, project plan. That encourages more use. Also, reorganize your stash, rearrange everything. That gives you a bit of a new feel to it, Put whatever's behind in front and whatever's in. Of course, this might end up with you being unable to find anything for a long time, as is the case with me. But, who knows, maybe you're better organized than I am. So reorganize everything, rearrange everything. Maybe, put your makeup where your skincare is and vice versa. Put your eyeshadows where, the foundations were and, vice versa. So that way you get a bit of a new feel to things, And of course, reduce, refuse, reuse and recycle. The reusing thing, what I do is my dad has a bit of a gardening thing going on. So he wants to get, big tubs of moisturizer, pots of cream, where they store seeds and so on, and all those, dropper bottles for serums. Those and spray bottles are used to spray or to deliver medicine. He tries to grow orchid, he buys orchids, and then, a lot of them get eaten up by slugs. So what he does is he uses the dropper bottles, the ordinary, to deliver medicine to the roots of the orchid. But the slugs keep coming anyway. I'm a bad smell in his garden after I borrowed, as I call it, stole as he puts it, a few orchids to use as photo props for my Instagram, for this channel's Instagram back in the day, maybe pre-COVID. So ever since, I've been a rather bad smell in his garden. I think we should all focus on, people, not possessions, and experiences, not things, a bit more, At the moment, the way the world is, we are focusing on things. Success right now is about a fancy car and, a particular kind of house and, where your children go to school and so on. Success is no longer how healthy you are, how happy you are, how healthy your loved ones are, whether you're able to spend time with them, whether you're having a lot of laughs together, whether you're all getting along happily, or, whether you're not on good terms with each other. So, those are no longer what makes you happy. Those are no longer the measure of success. The measure of success is now fancy car, fancy holidays, fancy things, fancy connections. The ability to boast, that has become the measure of success. The ability to boast, or boasting about what you have, rather than, these things that matter more. I intend to shop a lot more mindfully in 2025. I know I've been doing that for a while, and I've, shopped very mindfully in 2024, particularly when it came to lipsticks and makeup, really, beauty. I intend to be even more mindful in 2025, but also I intend to be more mindful when it comes to other things as well, not just beauty. I want to be more mindful when it comes to fashion. No more fast fashion at all, ever, ever, ever. I want to support artisanal brands, independent, really small brands. I don't want to shop for the sake of shopping, but when I have a, birthday or something and absolutely need a new outfit is what I'm talking about. I'll try not to buy anything new this year. In terms of outfits, I don't know if that is going to be possible or what life has in store for me this year. Similarly, books, I am only going to buy whatever is not on Kindle, whatever is not in ebook format, I will buy second-hand. No new books, that's my thing this year. Similarly, I also want to fly less, have fewer emissions this year. Shopping for airline tickets is also shopping, isn't it? So as I said, I intend to be more mindful and about what I buy and leave something in my cart for a whole month this year. No exceptions, not even for advent calendars. I will of course be topping up my skincare, but other than that, topping up after auditing my stash very, very thoroughly to see how much I have everything off. I don't need any new serums this year. I've got enough Purito. I don't need any new toner this year. I have enough of my beloved SK2, so no toners this year. I have cleanser as well, my CeraVe foaming cleanser and hydrating cleanser. I have a whole litre each of, and that is more than enough for this year. Moisturizer, similarly, I already have 2 tubs of CeraVe moisturizing cream, so I don't need moisturizers either. So audit my stash, be more mindful on what I buy, fly less, focus on relationships, people, not possessions, and diet, lifestyle, health, most importantly, sleep, than, all these material things. Read more, other hobbies, crochet a bit, exercise more, move more. Those are my resolutions for 2025. What are yours? Do you intend to shop more mindfully this year? If so, how? What are your tips? Do tell me in the comments below. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up. Please do the subscribe button. Please do ring the notifications bell. And I'll speak to you soon.